position within Metro because everyone else who was working alongside him were all like trying to feed their families, like super desperate, didn't want to rock the boat.
Yeah.
He was a student. Oh, you used to be, no, sorry, he'd finished uni, but like, he was in a more comfortable position.
Yep.
This job, he needed a job, but it wasn't that.
Happening with the Sydney Metro. It's just open today. How's it going?
This is crazy.
It's
We're
crazy.
In this history.
We got a Metro now.
I went to sleep last night, no Metro.
No
Woke
Metro.
up this morning,
Metro.
there's a Metro. Have
you
you
know
ever
it.
had that? Well, I mean, Americans haven't had that before, but like,
No.
It's like it's a pretty crazy feeling.
See, the thing is, we had trains before. There were trains.
We had lots of trains.
But there was no Metro. Now we've finally got a Metro. There's all these articles saying Sydney is now a modern city because we've got a Metro. I'm not even joking. This is literally what they're saying. I don't understand why. Okay, I'm already editorializing. Should we go through the news first?
Oh, yeah. Let's just see what has actually happened. Oh, let's go. I think let's hear it from a true aficionado. I feel like you shouldn't listen to journalists talk about trains.
No.
You should listen to teenagers or middle-aged men or anyone who films themselves in front of a train. Because journalists, that's not their day job.
No.
Train talk.
No.
These guys are here every single
spotters.
day. Yeah.
We should be listening to the train spotters.
Autistic people. Well, I didn't want to say it, but Martin Nash 3 has
Doxed. That's your full name. Got him.
Who has 3 in his name? Autism. Let's go. Okay. So let's see what has actually happened from the people who care about it the most.
I'm here now at Tallawong Station, enjoying the sunrise just around 1 hour after the first ever metro train left from Sydenham. It was an absolutely incredible ride, full of fun and joy, that really showed what Sydney is capable of moving forward into the future and what the
I like the fun and joy.
Think fun and joy on a train?
Yeah.
A metro. On a metro. Normally, whenever I'm on public transport, I'm always miserable.
Yeah.
It sucks. But fun and joy?
You got the wrong kind of neurodivergence.
What do I have?
Borderline personality disorder.
Yeah, exactly. I'm bloody angry. I'm sitting there. I need autism.
Yeah,
then I'll enjoy it.
I wonder if you can like re-skill like in a skill tree, like in a game.
Yeah, probably have to reach a checkpoint first.
Yeah.
Before you can do that. You can't just do it straight away.
I'd like to go into autism. I'd like to spec in autism.
This BPD's not working. I can't beat any of the bosses.
I like the rage. It's useful, but I don't have very good perception.
Yeah, it's fun. Maybe for the second playthrough, I'll try BPD again.
BPD's good for Riz though, for charisma.
Is it?
Yeah, I think that's all the sexy girls have BPD.
I don't think so. Not for me.
Okay.
might look like from here on out. This is Jacob Rewington reporting for 10 News First.
Oh, what?
10 News?
Wait,
what?
So they are... Okay, so journalists are getting the...
Journalist.
This is a journalist.
What? I thought this was 6 News.
No.
10? I don't want fucking 10.
Whoa, I don't want the front page. Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess the news has changed.
So the metro, as you can see here, it's driverless.
There's no drivers.
It's the future. That's why we're modern now. There's no drivers.
But it still stops at a time. Like it doesn't run all night.
Yeah, exactly.
The initial promise was there's no drivers, so it'll run all the time.
The robot still has to sleep.
Yeah. If we should read through it or we should just talk about our own understanding of the metro.
Should we explain what the metro is? Because a lot of you are American, aren't you? You might not know what the metro is.
So the metro is all about gauges.
It is a smaller gauge, I think.
So we've got heavy rail, which is just a normal train.
No, it's not train underground. You're all saying train underground.
No.
We already had a train underground.
It's a little trick. I actually got taught this by the station manager of Stuttgart Station.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, were you doing the promo job? The buses replace trains as well?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh, so we were all there.
I don't think I spoke to the Stuttgart guy.
No, he was just.
I was only there for one day.
So we used to do promo work where we get paid to just like, let's say, go to a train station and hand out flyers and be like, this train line's closed. The buses leave from over there. Here's the timetable. And people generally ignore you.
Yep.
They don't want anything to do with you.
Nope.
So we'd kind of mess around and just start saying anything to them.
Yep.
We'd be like, helicopters replace trains. I'll be like, get back on the...
Mandatory dress codes on Friday.
Yeah. It's so stupid. but no one pays any attention apart from like the old people who really want to talk to you. And we were doing promo for the Metro, and this would have been like 7-8 years ago. When
they shut down part of the Sydney train network and they replaced it with buses while they were turning the train network into a metro network.
Which I didn't know what the difference was.
Exactly.
But this German old man from Stuttgart, like storms up to me while I'm being like, buses replace trains, a new metro's coming, it's really exciting. And he's like, this is a travesty. And I was like, what are you talking about? It's like, you people know nothing about trains. I was the station manager at Stuttgart Station. This whole metro thing is completely wrong. And I'm just like, oh, here we go. Well, I mean, it was still fun because it's much better than repeating the same line to people, just hearing what this guy said. But then it turns out he was amazing. Like everything he said was so good and like checks out completely with everything anyone normal.
What did he explain the difference as being?
So he said, I hope you guys are as interested in trains as we are.
Our viewers have gone up, so we're going well.
Yeah, people love the trains. It's all about gauges. Mm-hmm. So you've got normal trains, which is heavy rail, and they're on thicker gauges, and they specialize in longer distances. Yep. They're the most efficient when there's a long space between stops. They're not starting and stopping a lot.
Yep.
Metro, smaller gauges, and they're most efficient when they're starting and stopping a lot, and they're not efficient when they go over long distances. So this guy from Stuttgart was just like, this is really fucked because these metro gauges are on lines that should be heavy rail.
It goes really far. The metro is really not just underneath the city. It goes all the way out, like the kid said, to Tallawong, which is all the way up in the hills. It's very far away.
Yeah. And they're not constantly stopping. It's not like a little circle in the city. It is like a long distance train. And this guy's like, this is so inefficient and dangerous and it's really fucked. And the only reason they're doing it is because heavy rail is heavily unionized.
Yep.
So anyone who works making normal trains and conducting normal trains and everything to do with trains is unionized. So you've got to pay the workers properly, make sure they don't die, like all the just kind of annoying things that businesses don't want to do. But they had a private company that's just like, we could make metro trains, which doesn't have a union yet, or isn't represented by this specific union. And so it doesn't matter how much money you spend on this project or how inefficient it is, you get to avoid paying your workers properly.
Apparently it is more efficient though, because apparently the metro are coming one every 4 minutes. So it is very efficient.
Oh, I mean efficiency as in like resources.
Oh, like, it's just like really fucking expensive to do. Yeah. Well, it was incredibly expensive.
Stopping and starting these trains a lot is good. Because I guess it doesn't take a lot to start them up, but they lose out over the long run.
Yep.
And what we've got is have them going over like long distances.
Well, what I found, they're driverless, and obviously that's one train driver who you're replacing. You're also replacing the guard who normally is standing on the train and is safely checking that the doors open and close and stuff. And the weird thing is, first Metro was open from Chatswood to Tallawong.
Yeah.
And there were staff. There were these people in these like teal suits, and they were being all nice. They looked like they were having a wonderful time. They were still there. Now they're gone. On the Chatswood to Tallawong line, there's no staff. But this new metro thing that has opened, there are staff now. So it's almost like
how long they're going to be there.
Exactly. They phase them in. So it's like so that people don't get scared by the fact that you're clearly just trying to get no staff. They go, no, there are staff. And then they're gone.
And then they're gone. And it's also, what's terrifying about it as well is that there are some tracks of this that are just like kilometers of time.
Yeah.
And what happens if
it
the
goes
train
under
stops
the harbour? Yeah.
The train stops, you're underwater, and like someone has to decide, like, I will lead everyone to safety.
Well,
like,
it already happened. It happened. It happened out in Castle Hill.
But that was on a big bridge, no?
Yeah, it might have been. I forget exactly what happened.
It's a scary bridge.
But, it went down, and it means it stops, and they're remote controlled, and there are people overseeing it, but I think they're in Hong Kong overseeing it, and. Yeah, when that happens, there's no trained person who knows how to deal with the situation who could press the button and make an announcement and then start evacuating people.
What happens if you got a disabled person on the train? Like,
just figure it out yourself. Yeah. Figure it out yourself. You know what you're doing.
Oh my God. But at least they're saving money.
Yeah.
But what's even crazier about this is that I had a friend from university, a guy called Robert, and he became... like inadvertently, I guess, he wasn't planning to do this. He became a martyr for the anti-metro brigade. So he came straight out of uni and like wanted just like a random, kind of like a job while he's like looking for something within the field that he studied for.
Hmm.
And Metro was advertising jobs. And he's just like, oh, whatever, I'll do this. But it wasn't like particularly meaningful for his career. He like wanted to do something else. And I think that put him in a very interesting position within Metro because everyone else who was working alongside him were all like trying to feed their families, like super desperate, didn't want to rock the boat.
Yeah.
He was a student. Oh, you used to be, no, sorry, he'd finished uni, but like, he was in a more comfortable position.
Yep.
This job, he needed a job, but it wasn't that meaningful.
He didn't have like financial responsibilities, which he was burdened by.
So he ends up in this crazy trajectory in this company because he's in there. He notices just like people are treating the workers horribly. The contracts are completely fucked. Like no one's covered for anything, and just like dodgy stuff just keeps happening. Like people get laid off when they want to like exercise their rights for like holidays or different things. Like all this weird stuff. And so he ends up reaching out to their union.
Yep.
Which is the union that Metro had. I forgot which one it was called, but he starts talking about all these issues, and then the union delegate's like, "Oh, okay." And then the next day, he just stops getting shifts, and he looks it up. Eventually, he's like, "What is going on?" And he noticed anyone who went up to this union delegate would just get iced out. What's happening? And he looked it up, and he found that like the founder of, I don't know which union it was, but owned heaps of shares in Metro. So what they did is they invested in this private rail thing for Metro to avoid unions, but they obviously had to pretend they had a union, and what they had was a super corrupt union that worked for the Metro.
Yeah.
And so after that, he's like, "This is insane," and I guess he is more comfortable than the other workers. He's able to take this risk. He starts organizing them and trying to get people to sign up to the RTBU, which is like the actual rail union, the thing that Metro was set up to avoid. Like these people who are actually like, more militant, they know what they want, they get good contracts, they're not afraid of going on strike. He starts organizing to get everyone to sign up with them. And he's like, pretty successful. All these people want to sign up. They understand that they're getting fucked by this company.
Yeah.
And then just before he was meant to like present this thing that he signed, he gets fired, which is illegal, right?
Yeah.
Free Rob. That's what I'm saying.
One thing I will say, so people are saying, was it a fake union and stuff like that? I don't know if it's a little bit different how unions in Australia work. There's basically, for most positions, there's one union which can represent you. It's all like the kind of representation and which union represents you in your work. Even if you're not in your union, there's already kind of agreed patches as to where you're covered by. And the RTBU, as far as I know, they mostly cover public sector. So because this is kind of a partially privatized thing, I presume they would have gone into one of the other bigger catch-all unions.
Yeah.
So it's still
like Australian Professionals Union or
I don't know which union it was, so I don't want to slag them off. But like, yeah, there's these bigger catch-all unions that cover just miscellaneous kind of groups. So that's who was covered. It wasn't a fake union as such. It was just like a larger union which probably didn't have any interest in their things and may have had some connections.
Some corrupt.
The same thing happened down in Victoria. I think they've got some private tram network and it's not covered by, they're not covered by the larger RTBU, but then the members want to be in the RTBU kind of thing. So it's all this.
Yeah. The company's trying so hard to not let them in.
What percentage of Australians are in a union? About 16%, I believe. And that's mostly public service. That's insane. Of the private service, I think it's like 8%.
So yeah, it's Metro's open. It's a very sad day for workers' rights in Australia, but a great day for neurodivergent rights. I think some people are very, very excited about this.
Smartest man in the Balkans, you can consider myself one of your homies. Yeah,
what's SDA?
We also the Shoppers Distributive Alliance. They are a union, but they're very, very close with Woolies and Coles and everyone else.
What happened with neurodivergent rights? Didn't you see the news story? They opened a new train. There is a new train, which is very big in my community.
It's good to see that someone's finally doing something for the neurodivergent.
Yeah. The news story is a new train. Okay, I guess that was the most important news.
That's the most important thing.
Let's go into something a bit